Hey everybody, I am so thrilled for this week's release. In fact, this is the release that actually caused us to want to do themes to begin with. That's right. This week's theme is so good that it actually completely changed the way that we do releases for 2023 and beyond. And so I am absolutely thrilled to jump into this with you guys. One thing that's kind of interesting to note here is there's a few more than what we normally release on a Thursday. The reason for that is because this theme is so good. Okay, let's jump into it. The theme for this week is Memento Mori. We'll get to what that means in just a second. First of all, on Tuesday, we have a brand new Zox the Day design called The Dance. This piece of art is actually taken from the early 1400s. It is incredible, and the idea behind it is very simple. The fact that all of us, no matter our stature in life, are dancing towards death. The idea behind this type of art is called Danse Macabre, which means dance of death. And the cool part about this is, rather than thinking about it in terms of like morbid or weird, it actually is like a really, I guess, invigorating and encouraging thing to live your life to the very fullest. Back of the card on this one says, concentrate on living what can be lived, which means the present. Then you can spend the time you have left in tranquility and in kindness and at peace with the spirit within you. That's Marcus Aurelius. You're gonna see that guy's name around here a lot. Marcus Aurelius was actually the emperor of the Roman Empire in around 161 AD, I believe it was. Incredibly smart guy. There's an amazing book that is out called Meditations, and it kind of is cool because it's his private life that he was documenting. It's almost like his private journal. So to be able to read something that was never meant to be public, but to read kind of his thoughts as an emperor of Rome is really enlightening. And so much of the ideas within here are based off of different writings that he had. Okay, next up is an amazing design that I absolutely love. This is only 2,000 pieces. This is one of the rarest straps we're releasing this week. And the reason for that is because, to be honest with you, I was a little bit hesitant in using this name, but I feel like it is so good as a reminder. The name is Remember You Must Die. Now, Memento Mori, that is actually the literal translation of Memento Mori, which we're gonna get to in just a second here. But I love this reminder. This art itself is a piece by Philippe de Champagne. Beautiful piece that's in the art style called vanitas, or vanity. And the idea behind this type of art was literally that artists would show that basically you can't take anything with you. The really cool part about this piece, and why it's one of my favorites of that art style, is that it's very simple. It's the tulip to symbolize life, the skull to symbolize death, and the hourglass to symbolize time. And that really is all we get, right? Back of the card on this one is awesome. You can leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Again, that's Marcus Aurelius. That is a phenomenal quote. And the more you think about it, the more you recognize how incredible that is. The idea here, and remember you must die, is it's not something that's grim. It's remembering that at any moment you could go. And so the way to live your life is to do it at the very fullest, to imagine that this may be your very last day here. And if that was the case, how would you live it, right? I think that's awesome. Another one that is only 2,000 pieces. I absolutely love this design too. This is a really cool, non-repeating design, meaning it's going to be centered for everybody. Amor fati, or love of fate. The idea behind that is accepting everything that happens, whether it's good or bad, as appreciating it for what it is. Sometimes it's honestly really hard to do, especially when really tragic events happen. But the idea here behind Amor fati is to find a way to appreciate everything, even if it's learning something from it or if it's getting stronger from it. And I know it's harder to do than it is to say, but I feel like that's such a phenomenal reminder, especially as we go through difficult times. This one is actually really easy to wear. I love the look of this one on wrist. It's so cool. You have the two snake heads meeting together in the middle of it. Really cool. Back of the card, this one says, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. Another quote by Marcus Aurelius. My goodness. Honestly, that book, Meditations, is so incredible. I'm telling you all, if you haven't read it yet, you definitely need to. And I'm pretty sure you can actually find it for free online. Obviously, it was written a very, very long time ago. Okay, next up. Tomorrow is not promised. This is an amazing design. I made this one out of a cut of wood. The idea being that even the biggest trees are one day falling, right? And I felt like that was such a cool way to kind of remember the life that we have and kind of looking at the rings of a tree, right? Like you're able to look at those and see all these different periods in a tree's life and how it grew. And in the same way, remembering that tomorrow is not promised. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. It's a Seneca quote. Inside this one is beautiful too. Again, very simple and easy to read fonts. That was a really important theme for everything this week. I wanted it to all be really clean. And again, this one is a nice black and white design, so it's very, very easy to wear. I love that. Okay, last but not least, one of the most important releases we've done, and obviously the namesake for this week's theme, Memento Mori. This was an incredibly popular strap, and we decided to bring it back as a single. I love that. It makes it super easy to wear, very easy on the eyes. My goodness, the colors on this are just incredible. I absolutely love this one. I love the kind of the shading to it, all of that. Back of the card on this one actually references the previous strap I just talked about, Tomorrow is Not Promised. I changed the card from what it was on the original one because I felt like Memento Mori and remembering that tomorrow is not promised was such an incredibly important part of this. The idea that, again, all these kind of coordinating together. Memento Mori meaning you remember you must die, right? I love these because it's this idea that if we are able to really get outside of our mind, Marcus Aurelius says, remember, you can really only control your mind, not outside events. And once you're able to master that, you'll live the best life possible. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. That to me is the very best way to look at life. We can't control things outside of our mind, right? The only thing we control is ourselves. And I feel like it's so incredibly important to have these reminders because they're the ones that even when times get tough, they're there to help you get through those difficult moments. And last but very not least, as a thank you for those of you who buy at least 4 pieces from this week's release, we made a Memento Mori Zoxlox. I love this. You have a 3D effect text on the back side. Front side is a beautiful illustrated skull that Nick made. Absolutely love this one. These are gonna be for sale as well for $10, but they'll be free if you have at least 4 straps in your cart this Thursday only. Okay, that was a lot, I know. I was just so excited about it. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do, and I'll see you soon.